Well, Bert, it is Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, or at least we're pretending it is because we recorded this in advance.
That's why I'm wearing a shirt.
We normally do.
Wearing a shirt, Nick.
That's right.
People's like, why is he wearing a Grinch day after Christmas? Because it's not for me.
In our timeline, it's almost Christmas.
It is almost Christmas.
In your timeline, the viewer, the listener, it's Boxing Day, and I hope you're relaxing.
Yeah. Me too. Jeremy.
I've heard that America does not get Boxing Day off.
We do not.
True?
We do not.
Oh.
We don't care about that.
Boxing for you.
No boxing for us.
You know who will get Boxing Day off?
You.
Other than me?
No. Who?
The boxer Jake Paul, because he won't be moving anywhere.
The artist formerly known, or the boxer formerly known as Jake Paul, the problem child.
Right. Well, I mean, we shouldn't pick on him too much because he can't speak for himself.
He can't just speak just like this, Nick. Talk about this the whole time.
Poor guy. He's going to be having Christmas turkey dinner through a smoothie straw.
See, sacrilegious, Nick. Sacrilegious. Can't say that.
Yeah.
Turkey on Christmas. Yeah. That is sacrilegious, sir.
Oh, that's right. It's ham time for you guys.
Ham time. You know what I'm sitting on in my refrigerator right now, Nick?
Is it that giant can ham we talked about?
No, it is not that thing. No. Now, touche, Nick. I wish I would have thought of that. I wish I would have thought of that. Nope, it's a honey baked ham, Nick.
We did also talk about that last year too.
Because it's delicious.
You're excited for that, aren't you? I can tell by the twinkle in your eye.
I get so
when
excited.
You talk about the honey baked ham.
Listen, I love me some honey baked ham. There's not a lot of things I get super psyched about. That's it. Because I will eat that ham, I promise you, until it's gone.
I love ham too. I gotta admit. We don't normally have it on like Christmas. It's sort of like back and forth every year.
Yeah.
But my mom loves turkey dinner. We only have it twice a year, but she loves it.
Is it, when's the other time you have it? What holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Okay. So you do, I didn't know if like in Canada land, if you guys did something different for Thanksgiving other than turkey.
No. I'm glad we only have it twice a year because I've mentioned before, my dad is like an animal guy and we always had turkeys and they're the most loving pet you would have if you raise a turkey. And I'm a little bit like, man, these things love us. Like,
and if we do this,
I'm ashamed to eat them. Yeah. So, I mean, before anyone goes making fun of other cultures that might eat dogs, if you had a pet turkey, you know, you might understand this better.
Be your best friend. Ray, why are you eating all the turkeys for? My buddy Ray, he's got a farm and he eats turkeys.
Does he?
He eats them, dude. He loves them. He says they're delicious.
Maybe he doesn't treat them as pets. Does he? Maybe like does he name them?
Every animal on his farm has a name, so possibly.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
Okay. Did I ever tell you what my turkey's names was? I had two of them.
Was one of them Tom?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
So I was only supposed to have one turkey.
Yeah.
And his name was Turkules.
Great name.
Because he was a
great name for a turkey.
Strong male turkey.
Yeah.
Turkules.
Yeah. Perfect.
I got him from little chicks that I let him run around all over the place.
Yep.
And, but then my dad's friend's kid also got a turkey, but he didn't want to take care of it. So I got that turkey too. And I felt like I can't have one have a name and not have the other, but I couldn't think of anything on the spot. So his name was Turkey Number 2.
That poor turkey.
So it was Turkules and Turkey Number 2.
Man.
And you know what? They lived their whole lives naturally and did not have any murder.
How long does a turkey live, Nick?
Well, see, the turkeys that we know that we have in captivity are bred to get bigger and bigger and bigger, which is not super duper healthy for them. So they only live a few years.
Huh. Kind of like them Tyson chickens. They they live and they eat and they eat and they eat. And the way they've got them is they get so heavy, which is why you can buy chickens so heavy here in the States. I'm assuming Canada is the same way, but their legs break from holding them up.
Yeah.
Their body weight.
There's a specific breed called Meat Kings, which is, I find cruel, but anyway, I know way more about poultry than I probably need to know. But I'll tell you, as awesome as turkey pets are, and I would never have eaten Turkey's or turkey number 2.
That's good.
I love turkey.
That's really nice of you, Nick, to not eat your pets, your pet turkeys,
my beloved pets.
Yeah, that's that's a big deal. You don't want to go eating your turkeys now.
Now, in the future, when everyone's listening to this, you're all having leftovers the next day. I imagine.
I bet.
Turkey sandwiches, ham sandwiches.
Ham sandwich.
I don't know what else. But it's the perfect time to listen to a podcast because you're going to have tryptophan in your system, which is the turkey poisoning that makes you sleep.
Is that actually true, though?
It is, but it's such a negligible amount, it really doesn't do much to you. It's the overeating that does it.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, me too. Trust me on that.
That's me, Nick.
I'm going to try and restrain myself this year.
Man. So obviously around Christmas time, you had, we discussed this, I think last week, you head to your mom's, then your dad's, and then you do friends after that, right?
That's right. Yep. I got a routine. Got a routine down.
That's exciting, man. I'm glad you get to spend it with your family like that. It's my favorite holiday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. You told me that. It's no Halloween, but I like it too.
I mean, to each their own. I think it's the best one ever. My personal opinion, mind you.
Right. Well, if I got to run Halloween, it would be like, there'd be more family stuff involved in that. Like I would have a family feast like Christmas and, family activities, that kind of stuff.
I mean, that's definitely fitting. That's very fitting for you, Nick. I feel like that's something that if you ran Halloween, I feel like people would enjoy it more. You really should. Yeah. I honestly do think so. Oh, yeah.
It would be way better in so many ways, and in other ways, way, way worse.
I mean, listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. Ride or die, Nick. I'm with you.
Right. So it is Boxing Day. Everyone's relaxed and stuff like that. I'm going to give you a little tale.
Oh,
that's breaking news. Kind of breaking news. It'll be out for, 5 days or 7 days by the time everyone hears it. But it's going to be a roller coaster because it's going to start real good.
Yeah.
And end real bad.
Nick.
Yeah.
Thank goodness
it's not the spirit of Christmas, I know.
Thank goodness it's day after Christmas because I'd be telling you, Nick, you can't tell these kind of stories.
Well, that's why I checked the calendar right before we got on here to see if it was coming out on Christmas. Because if it was coming out on Christmas, I wouldn't do this.
I had one story that I deliberately want to tell so bad. It's such a good story.
Right.
But it's so mean-spirited that I'm like, I can't do it on the day after Christmas. I can't do it. It's too mean.
Well, this isn't mean. This is just like kind of disappointing. I think that's a better word for it. This is kind of disappointing.
Okay. Well, I want to hear it then. If it's because I might have something that will bring that back around, Nick. Bring that smile back.
I think you might. I mean, we do talk about this a little bit before we start, so
okay.
Giving away trade secrets here.
Oh, did we already talk about this?
No, you just told me it's going to be happier than mine.
Oh. Gotcha. I thought you meant yours. I'm like, man, I don't even remember what you told me.
No, I did. I really didn't tell you too much other than it's breaking news.
You did tell me it was breaking news. At first I thought it was 3-Eye Atlas.
No, there is some kind of boring news about that. And just said they were able to take better pictures of it.
Somebody said there's radio signals that came from it. Of course, that's a lie, but I would love to know where it came from.
I didn't hear that, but I can look into that more later. Although this, we do talk a lot about space stuff on here and, how cool it would be to travel to different places and discover more things about our universe and the nature of our universe and what's beyond. In fact, they think they're on the verge of finding another 9th planet in our solar system. Did you hear about that?
I know we've got another moon.
No, this is a planet.
I don't think I knew about another planet.
Man, I'm going off on a whole bunch of tangents, but I swear it's all related. So when we were first discovering planets, when we found them all that we thought we had,
including Pluto,
there was 9 at the time, which was Pluto, who got demoted later.
Nope, not in my book.
Okay, so in some people's books he was demoted, in some he wasn't, and that just changes the number at the end of this story. But anyway, do you know what the original name of the planet Uranus was?
No.
George.
Oh, that's a stupid planet name.
It is. It's because people were sucking up to King George.
Oh.
When they discovered it. So they renamed it after when he kicked the bucket, because people didn't have to suck up to him anymore. And it really didn't fit with the other planet names.
Is that why they call it Uranus now?
Maybe. But so anyway, that was just a fun fact. But they discovered Uranus. Like, they had a hard time finding it because they were looking out there and they'd never see it. But someone noticed that the planet right before it was being pulled out of trajectory with the other one slightly. Like, its trajectory moving around the sun was how it would be if there was another gravitational force acting on it.
Interesting.
So they inferred it. They inferred that there was planets further than the ones we knew about in our solar system. And using that information, they were able to find Uranus and then the other planets. Now, for a while, we got sort of complacent with the planets in our solar system, but they looked at it again not too long ago, and they found out that our furthest planet out that we know about is being acted upon by the exact same kind of forces that the other ones were when they were looking for it. So they think they're on the verge of finding a 9th planet, or in your case, a 10th planet.
Yep, 10. I like that. It's a round number.
Could happen. What's that?
I like it because it's a round number. It's an even round number of 10.
Yeah, that would be nice, actually.
It'd be real nice.
That would be nice. So anyway, they think they're on the verge of discovering this planet. Now, none of this that I just told you was the story I'm talking about, but this is all very current news.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going on sort of like a winding tale to get you to where I want to be.
Yeah.
But almost all of our barriers about finding out more about the universe we live in is because of energy production and energy storage. Like, it's hard to get very far if you're going to run out of fuel, and you can only take so much, because then you won't be able to get yourself off the planet or propelled anywhere. And you can't refill at any refilling stations. So that's a problem.
Yeah, big time.
And until we solve that, we're kind of stuck in our own neighborhood.
Nah.
Or sending people off to die on a ship.
Nah.
No?
Nope. Build the first original rocket that got us to the moon, and you'll probably go all the way past Pluto, spin around and come back. It'll be fine.
I don't know. I don't know if that would happen in someone's lifetime with what we've got going on right
definitely
now.
We went to the moon on one tank of gas.
Well, that's another story entirely. That's another conspiracy
said that
theory.
Correctly, Nick. That was another story. You're correct.
Yeah, we're not in alignment on what we think of the moon mission here. But I don't think either of us's opinion on it is mainstream. I think that mine's sort of in the middle, and yours is on the right.
I'm pretty sure, Nick. I'm pretty sure a lot of people align with the fact that a UFO put that thing in our gravitational pull. I think the bulk of people believe that.
Yeah. The bulk of people.
Yeah. The bulk of you believe that.
The bulk of our listeners, maybe. We'll see, but that's besides the point. Like, we want realistic ways that we can continue moving through space without worrying about energy storage consumption. You know, we've got life support systems. We've got all this stuff, you know, how to refill the engine, basically, or the tank.
I thought they found a way to do this. I thought they was coming up with plasma. Was plasma not one of the ideas they came up with?
Isn't that interesting? Plasma, you say?
Yeah.
Do you know who the leading authority on plasma is?
No, I don't.
Is a guy who is the director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, a professor of nuclear science and engineering named Nuno F.G. Loureiro. He is the authority on the subject, and he has discovered, or I don't know if he discovered it, but he was working with something called magnetic reconnection, which means when plasma separates and reconnects, there's a massive amount of energy that's produced from this. Yeah. And it does that all the time. Mm-hmm. The problem is that we lose that energy right now. And if we were able to capture it, we could produce massive amounts of energy with no CO2, no air pollution, no meltdown risk. The fuel is abundant, even in space. It's hydrogen isotopes. You can get it anywhere. There's no long-lived radioactive waste. It would completely, and this is the key word here, completely and permanently eliminate the need for fossil fuels.
I like that.
That is something a lot of people are scared about. Mm-hmm. Mostly wealthy people.
Yes.
So he believed he was on the verge using magnetic and gravity stabilizers to capturing all that energy.
Wait a second. I'm picking up on something here, Nick.
Uh-oh.
You said he was really close to discovering this, or
I shouldn't use those words.
Because, okay, I think I'm picking up where this is going.
Yeah, just hold off on that for a minute. Maybe some people haven't figured this out yet.
Yeah.
Let me change that. He is really close. Really close to solving this problem. And was expected to come up with a solution by the end of next year. And this was publicized. So anyway, let me tell you a little bit about our friend Nuno Loureiro.
Yeah.
He lives in America.
Yeah.
But in particular, in Brookline, Massachusetts. Have you ever heard of that place?
No.
It is the safest community in the entire United States. It has the lowest violent crime of anywhere in America.
Yeah.
It's consistent year after year as one of the safest and most desirable places to live in the United States. In fact, I have, going back to 2015, a total of all the murders that have happened in Brookline, Massachusetts, which is not far from Boston, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go through this. 2015, 0 murders. 2016, 0 murders. 2017, 0 murders.
Noticing a trend.
2018, 0 murders.
Yeah.
2019, 1 murder.
Oh.
Non-resident, but happened within the borders.
Those doggone people coming in, killing people in Massachusetts.
All right. 2021, 0 murders. Mm-hmm. 2022, 0 murders. 2023, 0 murders. 2024, 0 murders. 2025, December 19th, 1 murder. Shortly after talking about how fusion would soon completely and forever remove the need for fossil fuels. He was murdered in his home in Brookline, Massachusetts. With no leads on the case, no suspects, no one taken into custody. This is only a couple days and it's already appearing that it's going to be a cold case.
It ain't no cold case.
Now, I've heard of a lot of people who have made that same statement. Like, do you remember when people were talking about the hydrogen cars and stuff like that, and the guy who had a working version?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what happened to him?
Stanley Meyer.
That was his name?
Yes.
Yep. What happened to Stanley Meyer?
Well, he, my guess is probably the same thing that happened to your boy that you were just referring to.
Was it in 2019 in Brookline, Massachusetts?
Well, unfortunately, is this the right guy? There was a guy. I think this is it. So the man who killed Carr run on water likely referred to Stanley Meyer, an inventor who claimed to have built a water-fueled car, but was later found guilty of fraud and died of an aneurysm in 1998, though some supporters believe he was poisoned to suppress his technology. Now, the reason I know this story so well, and I'm just double checking to make sure, this happened in Ohio. Story on it? Huh?
Oh, it happened in Ohio.
Yes, he was from Ohio. Wow. I think he died at in a restaurant, and the story goes that he said, "I've been poisoned," and then he ended up dying shortly after that. And then they go, "Nope, aneurysm." Oh, really? That's an aneurysm. I've seen him.
This is that whole Epstein killed himself kind of thing all over again.
Basically. Yeah. It's yeah. Where was this, dude? It told all about this. I want to say he was he's at a restaurant where you're like, that's totally an Ohio restaurant. Man.
Was it corn and things restaurant or something like that?
No, it was like a man, I wish I could remember the story. It's an Ohio-based story, so I should know it. This mysterious death. Here we go. This might say it. "They poisoned me," were the last words that Stanley Meyer, a man whose mysterious death was fueled by conspiracy theories and alternative energy community. On a chilly night in 1998, Stanley Meyer stumbled out of a restaurant in Grove City, Ohio, clutching his throat and gasping for air. He collapsed in a parking lot as his brother Stephen rushed to his side. His final words continue to echo a conspiracy circle. "They poisoned me." Does it say the restaurant? Did I say a restaurant?
You didn't say the name, no.
It just said restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Man, I want to say it's like a Cracker Barrel or something like that.
Was Cracker Barrel originally Ohio?
No, but we had like a lot of those. Yeah. Okay. I tell you what, the reason I find the story so interesting, because again, it's an Ohio-based story. So of course, being here, you're like, yep, not inventing none of that. Like, nope.
Well, I was just thinking, if someone called me up and said, "Hey man, I think I've invented a car that runs on water. Do you want to come see it?" I'd be like,
nope.
No.
Zero chance.
And I'm going to cancel this phone line right now. And,
correct.
We'll talk about other subjects at a future date.
Remember,
but not this week.
Remember that story that we talked about where it was the people that did the, what's that called? The out of body people. What the heck was that called?
The remote viewing.
Remote viewing. Or? They was doing the remote viewing, and that one guy got too close to info, and he was walking out the elevator, and he felt a pinch, and he ended up dying in that room.
Right.
That was just a fluke too, folks.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
Not on my watch, folks.
I will tell you, normally, under normal circumstances, I don't like to bring up stories about people's misfortune that are current events, because that's really like raw for their families and stuff. So I want to say, I'm sorry for your loss about that kind of thing in the off chance that someone does listen to this, but it was more about the amazing technology that we're never going to see.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like I think it goes without saying, and this is part of the problem with where we live at as a society, right? It's like he came up with something that could revolutionize, like it would be the next big revolution in the progression of humans.
It's what we're waiting for.
100%.
Right.
But there's greedy people with a lot of money and unscrupulous people that will take money to end someone's life, which is just sad.
Right. It is sad. Like, money should never come at the cost of people ever.
No.
For any kind of thing. Like, but anyway, that's my downer story, because it's like someone passed away right before Christmas, and on top of that, humanity is set back decades at least.
I wonder if he saved his work somewhere and someone will be able to pick it up and then advance the ball.
Probably there'll be water damage in his house and all his equipment and notes have been destroyed.
Probably so.
By accident.
I don't know. I hate to hear stories like that. That makes is really sad.
Right.
For multiple reasons.
On a bunch of levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I have a story that I wanted to bring. It's happier than yours. I think at the end anyway.
Oh, good. Pick us up. Pick us up here.
Well, we talked about Christmas a little bit.
Right.
And you and we used to do Christmas specials. We didn't do it this year because we had too much stuff going on. Well, do you remember what our first Christmas special was about? Do you remember?
Did we do one before Christmas Carol?
No. That was the first Christmas special. It's
that one.
Yeah. So we did the Christmas Carol, and I think my favorite part of A Christmas Carol is it kind of reminds of the Victorian stories to a degree, the ghost stories. And for anyone that doesn't know, around Christmas time, I believe in the UK, it was very popular for families to sit down and tell ghost stories. And, I love those kind of stories. I think it's an interesting way of looking at Christmas as a whole. I think you and I talked about this, a few weeks ago.
Just last week, actually.
Yeah, that's probably right.
I was trying to convince you we should bring that back.
You did try to convince. I kind of am to a degree, Nick.
Right.
Kind of.
Okay.
So I want to tell a story. I'm going to be very careful with some things though, because this story was told to me. Now,
by someone you know?
I'm sorry?
By someone you know?
Yes. Now, he has since passed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that too then.
Yeah. He had passed a few years ago, but he told me the story because, as anyone knows, I love Christmas. And he really liked Christmas too. Very charitable guy. And we just happened to start talking one day about, why we love Christmas. And for me, I've always loved it. Like it's a date of excitement and anticipation. Now, his story has a very interesting life lesson at the end, much like A Christmas Carol does.
Oh, okay. I'm into this.
I'm going to be I'm not going to use his name, and I'm probably going to change some locations. I wrote down a little thing so I don't forget any parts, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, if I'm going to tell this story, like I'm going to tell it the right way. Like I don't want to tell it wrong.
Yeah, do it justice.
And again, this is a real story. It was told to me as real. I wasn't there. I'm not a part of the story, but it fits kind of our theme too.
Okay.
So long story short, it was Christmas Eve in the early 2000s. I don't remember exactly when he said it was. It was early 2000s. And I think I talked to the guy. He probably told me the story in 2010, 2011, maybe. But anyway, he was working for a job. I'm not going to go into the specifics again, but he was working in a job. He had been doing it for a while. And it's one of those jobs where you never really get great news. You always kind of get bad news, and people's in a bad mood. And, The job didn't pay a lot.
Oh, that's not good.
And that year he had a really tough year. I'm going to, because I want to have a name. I don't want to use his name. I'm going to say Mark. We're going to call him Mark. Okay.
Right. Mark.
Now, Mark, he wasn't like a jerk. Like he's like, when you think about Christmas Carol and you think about Scrooge, like Scrooge was kind of a jerk right off the get-go.
Right. Well, that was the whole point, really.
100%. And that's where the life lesson came in. And there's a really cool life lesson here too, because Mark wasn't always the Mark that I knew when it came to Christmas time. Now, again, Mark was kind of worn down. He told me during this time frame, like he's kind of worn down. He had all these bills going on. His car was breaking down all the time. He would go and get it fixed. And then the moment he get it fixed, it'd start having another problem. He would take it back in. It would get fixed again. And then have another problem. And if I remember correctly, I think he told me he bought a car. It was a used car. And then it started having mechanical issues. So, like his money was having all kinds of issues and he was struggling and he didn't necessarily care about Christmas so much that year. And to make matters worse, I can't remember when he said it, but his grandpa died that year too.
Oh, that's a real rough time.
It's a real rough time. And for anyone that's lost anybody, you understand the holidays aren't necessarily always easy for people. And especially if you, and in his case, he told me like his grandpa loved Christmas. Like it was his favorite holiday. Right. His grandpa made this big, huge thing out of Christmas every year. But they were cut from different cloths. Like, you know, when you're older and you're more established, things are easier. And I think you can enjoy things a little bit more.
Right.
Mark was he was at a different stage in his life. You know, he hadn't quite made it that far. And in fact, Mark used to tell me that his grandpa, he would find, in which, you know, I've done this before too. I'm sure many people has. You try to find a family to sponsor and then you can buy gifts. And then in essence, you're providing families with something they don't necessarily have. So like, I want you to get a depiction of who his grandpa was because Mark was not that guy.
Right.
Mark, the way he explained it was like anytime there was something to do with like kindness, like around the holidays, especially that year, he hated Christmas. He didn't want anything to do with Christmas. You know, in those little buckets that you throw your donations in, like he hated hearing those bells ringing. You know, he was just done. Anything that had to do with kindness, it felt like a scam. Like everyone wants a handout. You know, for him, Christmas wasn't about giving. It was everyone's trying to get something.
That is just like the beginning of the Christmas Carol. You read Scrooge's part. You
Correct.
know about that.
It's very similar. Right? It's very similar. And that's why I thought this story really kind of fit.
What's the line there? It's, just because it's December 25th isn't a good excuse to pick a man's pocket every year.
Correct. 100%. Like same mentality with Mark. Same mentality. Right. It was Christmas Eve and his job closed. I can't remember if he said 6, 7. It was earlier in the day, but whatever time it was, he knew that he had to be at his mom's house at midnight. Like midnight was that night where they had this very special tradition that they did as a family. But that tradition was Christmas Eve at 11:59, the moment the clock hit midnight, the entire family as a whole, is almost like New Year's Day. Every member in the household waited until midnight. And at midnight, everyone could open one gift.
That's an interesting tradition.
That was the rule. Now, after they opened their gift, it was always a small gift. Like you're not going to get the big gift, but you would open one gift. And the moment that you would open that one gift, you had to go to bed and you would wait until the anticipation. You had to rush to bed. All you kids had to rush to bed because Santa's on the way. You don't want to be. So, of course, they would run to bed and do all that stuff. Well, this was the one year where Mark, almost said his real name, where Mark had to go get his gift for his sister, and he was having a tough time finding it. Now you have to remember, and a lot of you younger folks is not going to know what I'm talking about. The gift that she was the most excited about was a portable CD player.
Well, some people we've lost completely.
Yeah, they're like, I have no clue what you're talking about. And
right.
Specifically, the CD player she wanted was one with, I kid you guys not, something called anti-skip. Now, for you youngsters,
I knew you were going to say that.
It was big technology. That was like the flux capacitor of the 2000s and CDs. For you kids, you guys go to like Amazon and YouTube Music and Spotify. Back in the old days, we had radio stations, or we could take these, they look like DVDs. DVDs are still around, or Blu-rays.
Yeah.
You would put it inside a device that would spin, and you would listen to your music there. You would buy CDs in a store.
Interesting add-on to that, if you don't mind me breaking in.
By all means.
Is before that was the Walkman, and people would strap them to their waistbands and go running with them or take them on the go. And they did that with the Discmans as well in the beginning before anti-skip technology. And that did not work very well.
No. You had to have the good stuff. You had to have an anti-skip. If you didn't have anti-skip, that wasn't legit.
Do people even know what skipping is?
I don't think they do. I really don't think
you should explain that little bit too. I think
the best example, are you talking about like the real life skipping, like what real life skipping is?
No, I'm talking about like if you went for a run without anti-skip technology and you had it so strapped to your waist.
What would happen is the best example I can give you is honestly in the car, because like running with a CD player, you're not going to hear your song. It's not like an MP3 player of today. Like it's literally, there's a laser beam that's reading the disc. And when you're bouncing up and down, it's moving that head and it's skipping all over your CD. Like it's a mess. It
sounded awful.
It sounded god awful. In the car,
it happened when it was sitting there.
Oh yeah.
Too.
In the car though, I think that was the worst, because if you had back in the 2000s, like I did, a system in your car, basically inoperable without skip protection. Like you just didn't.
Right.
If you didn't have anti-skip, you were not playing your music.
So this was a big deal at the time.
Huge deal. Like that's the one gift that she wanted more than anything. That was the one gift. He basically told his mom, don't worry about it. I've got a job. I want to buy this. And these things weren't cheap back then. Like they was a little, for money back then, that was kind of pricey, to be honest with you. There was only, you got to remember, early 2000s too. The area that he lived in was not huge. They had one department store. He goes to the department store, whatever time he got off. Back then, stores also did not stay open 24 hours a day. They closed at a specific time, especially Christmas Eve. This one, I believe he told me was open till midnight, and then they closed abruptly at midnight. So if he would have left and got there at, let's say, 6:30 or 7 o'clock or whatever time, he didn't have a lot of time. Like, you guys don't understand. Back then, they rang up. There was no self-checkouts. There was registers open with people, and you had to have them go through all that stuff. So he gets there already late in the day. The store is full. Now, we're talking about someone that's already ticked off about Christmas. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He goes through the store. He finds one CD player with anti-skip. One. There's only one left.
Lucky there.
The problem was there was no price on it. So he didn't know how much he was going to spend. He had been paid like a week before. He had another week until his next payday. He's like, I have enough to probably cover whatever number this is. And some of you's like, why didn't he just go look for someone? Christmas Eve, back in the early 2000s, you're not getting someone to do a price check on Christmas Eve. And you can't go to the internet to look it up. Like it's a different day and age.
Yeah.
So he goes and he stands in this line, and Christmas Eve, this line was, the way he explained it was so freaking long. It was obnoxious. He was mad. At this point in time, they're calling over the intercoms, hey, we're going to be closing in X amount of time. Bring your final purchase to the register. People behind him's now annoyed. He's stressed out. In front of him, there's a woman and there's a kid with her. So, of course, he's sitting there. And when you don't have anything else to do, you're not scrolling your cell phone back then. You're people watching. Like, that's what you're doing. You're looking around. And typically the stores have all the other things that you can buy. Like back then, the lines, they had things outside the lines. So you could grab tape or grab wrapping paper or grab whatever you were going to grab. That was literally the case. So for him, he's doing a little bit of people watching. And the thing about Christmas Eve is you can tell those that are last minute shoppers because their carts are full of last minute Christmas gifts. So the woman in front of him, he noticed, didn't seem to have any Christmas gifts. It was all like essential things, bread, water, or not water, but like bread and butter and, things that you have to live, not necessarily something that you need to give somebody on Christmas Day. So, of course, he's watching, and he said the kid was maybe 5 or 6 years old, wasn't real old at all. And he's standing through this line, and he said the thing that stuck out to him was like people behind him's getting annoyed because they're like, oh, we still want to shop a little bit. And now they should keep this place open longer and blah, blah, blah. So everybody is literally off the hook and frustrated. So he's looking at all the stuff in the woman's cart. And the one thing that stood out in that cart that was not about anything else was one little small Matchbox toy truck. And he said that little kid just kept staring at that one little truck. And he had this smile on his face and he was super excited. He said the woman and the kid get to the register. And back then you'd put on the conveyor belt and they ring it up and they put it to the thing. And he said, they're ringing everything up. And then she gives the grand total and says the woman reached inside of her purse, grabbed her card back then, debit card, which back then was not tied to a Visa or MasterCard. It was just a straight, it was a debit card. So whatever you had in the bank was ran through the bank. Said she gave it to the cashier. Cashier runs it through. Beep. Declined.
Oh.
Runs it again. Beep. Declined. For anyone that's had a credit card or a debit card or a credit card or any kind of card, even when you have money in there and it comes up decline, naturally, I get embarrassed.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because I sit there and I think to myself, this person clearly thinks that I'm broke, which do I really care? Probably not, but it's still a very embarrassing thing. Like I know my face turns red. I'm sure much like her probably.
Do you guys have tap there? I know.
Yep. The tap to pay.
But what you might not have this in United States, but in Canada, you can only do a certain amount of taps before it makes you insert your card.
Oh yeah.
So it's in case someone steals it, they'll only get like 50 taps or something like that.
Right.
And all it shows up is declined. And every time that happens to me, I'm like, embarrassing. I'm like, I just got to put my card in. It's the same thing that's tied to my watch.
But it's embarrassing though, isn't it?
It is. Like you said, why should we even care? But we do.
We still do because as a civilization, like we don't want to be seen as, causing a problem or being broke or not having money.
Right.
Right. Long story short, she looked over at the cashier, which is probably the same thing I would do. And Mark told me that she said, is the systems having like issues today? Because this is early 2000s. This isn't like nowadays. And basically the cashier's like, it's been happening on and off all day today. And he said the woman then went to her purse, grabbed her wallet. She had cash in there because back then, generally you had your cards and then you did carry a little bit of cash. I always carried a little bit of cash on me.
Yeah. Not today.
Not today, man. It's all plastic. But she grabbed some cash and then, she had enough on the card But now she's counting through all her money. Mm-hmm. And what she discovered is the amount she had in money was not enough to cover all the items that was sitting on in the spot.
Oh, no. I hope I'm not going to say it.
So she starts taking things off. Hey, can we go ahead and take that off? And can we go ahead and take this off? And the way, almost forgot what I was calling him. The way Mark explained it was, it was like not the food things, but like one thing was like a pair of socks. Like it was socks and like the value sacks like you get. He's like, okay, she's taking those off. And in my mind, it's probably like those was probably Christmas gifts.
Right.
They get basically down to just food, and she's short roughly the amount of the Matchbox truck.
Oh no. This is what I had feared.
Mark said that she reached over. She wouldn't even look at her son. She reached over and said, can we take this off? And then this part always chokes me up a little bit when I think about it.
I'm feeling it already, man.
But he said that little boy, and he said he was probably like 5, 6, maybe 7 years old. He wasn't very old. He said he looked at his mom and said, it's okay, Mom. Like, it's okay. We'll get it next time. You know, you got this little kid that, in my opinion, is having a very adult moment. Like
he's already experienced the harshness of life.
Correct.
In a way a kid shouldn't have to.
Correct. And it's hard as an adult to take things back sometimes. Now you have a kid that has no real experience in the world. And I don't know. That part always hits me a little weird. Yeah. And even Mark told me, he's like, you know, it wasn't even the fact that it was the money. It was the fact that at 5, 6, 7 years old, however old this kid was, he had to be like an adult and think like an adult.
Right.
So Mark said someone behind him started complaining about how long it was taking. And he said he spun around, and this is a guy that, again, didn't care about Christmas very much. And he screamed back. He's like, you know, hey, you know, screw off. Like, it's Christmas Eve. Like, just give her a minute to figure this out. And he said that the person calmed down. And he said the woman then gave the rest of the amount of money, checked out. And he said, but the boy kept looking at that toy truck. And he himself, he knew that in that moment, he couldn't let that kid walk out without that toy truck. But he was having this dilemma in his head. He's like, I got another week until I get paid. I don't even know how much this CD player is. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to have enough money to eat. But he said watching that kid walking away and looking at that truck did something to him. So he said he yelled over at the kid and was like, hey, won't you come back over here? And he said, and the mom's like, no, we're good. Don't even worry about it. And he said that he's like, no, like, come back over. I want to talk to you real quick. And he said, the mom said, no, seriously, like, it's okay. And he said, oh, no, this isn't from me. Like, this isn't from me. He's like, when you walked away, I saw Santa Claus walk right by, and he had gave the amount that was needed on that register for you. He said, you were a good boy this year. And the boy looked up at his mom, was like, really? And she goes, like, seriously, you don't need to do that. And he goes, no. He goes, I didn't. Santa did this. And he said that you're a real good mom and he's a real good boy and they should have this truck. And he said he was feeling people pushing up against him because it's Christmas Eve, they want to get out of the store, and it ticked him off. So he spun around. He's like, go ahead and ring it up. Says she rings it up. She's going through everything and she gives the grand total, and he had a debit card too. So like, he didn't even have any cash on him.
Right.
He says he looks at the grand total and he's shocked. Like, the CD player was way cheaper than he thought it was.
Oh, good.
So for him, it wasn't a big deal. He hands his card over, a little bit nervous. Bing, goes right through. No problem at all. So he said he hands the truck, the little toy truck, we're talking about a Matchbox truck. Like it wasn't even an extravagant gift, but to that kid,
right,
who probably had nothing. Like, let's be serious. Like those socks was probably a Christmas gift. That boy for Christmas Day was probably going to get whatever.
Socks and a Matchbox toy, maybe.
Who knows, right? So the little boy said he grabbed it, hugged it, and then very softly said, "Thank you." And he said the mom looked at him and said, "Merry Christmas." And he said, "Oh man, Santa, don't even worry about it." So he was walking back to his car and he's all excited. He's like, "Man, I got this CD. I got it super cheap. Now I'm going to be able to eat a little bit better. I thought I was going to have to cut some corners because this one gift that I promised my mom I'd get, it's just the best of all worlds." Says he gets to the car and he's sitting there and he starts the car and he's sitting there thinking, he's like, "Man, did I get the right CD player? Like maybe this is like an open box or something like that. And I don't want to have that for Christmas because then that looks bad." Right. So he says he looks at the box and the box isn't open and everything seems to be fine. He said he goes to the receipt and he looks at the receipt because he's trying to figure out maybe it was on sale. Like maybe there was some type of a thing. And on the receipt, it showed toy truck, name of the CD player, sales tax, total. Underneath the total showed tender, gift card $15, debit card for the remaining amount, whatever it was. And he said he kept replaying that in his head and he couldn't figure out like what in the world, like how's that even possible? He had never had a gift card. He had never gave anyone a gift card. No one had ever gave him a gift card. He didn't even understand how a gift card would work. He couldn't let it go and he was scared that maybe he did something wrong. He didn't want to steal from the store. So he goes back into the store. He goes back to the cashier that's still slammed.
Right.
And he said, "Hey, I think there was a mistake. I got outside my car and I looked at the receipt. And when I looked at it, he's like, everything rang up." He said, "But it showed gift card $15. I didn't have a gift card. All I had was my debit card. And I'm trying to understand, maybe it was something that someone else, like, did someone ring this up for me? Or was this a store mistake?" And she goes, "Well, I thought he was with you." And Mark's like, "Who?" And she said, she pointed towards the entrance. She said, "The older man." And he's completely confused. He's like, "I guess I don't understand. Like, you're talking about this older man." She said, "Yeah." She said, "When you was talking to the little boy and to the woman, he smiled, signaled over at you, handed me the gift card and said, he's going to need that." And she said, "Did you not feel him when you was pushing out? He bumped into your arm and smiled at you and then walked away." And he goes, "I don't know." And then he started thinking back. He said in the story, he's like, "I thought people was pushing me because they was getting annoyed with how long I was taking, but I was just trying to comfort the boy." He said, "So I was so confused. I had to ask her, like, well, what did he look like?" He's like, "I wanted to thank the guy, if anything." He said, "It was a nice gesture, but, it was my moment. Like, I wanted to feel good in that moment. So, if I could give him some of that money back or something, I definitely would." She goes, "What was the older guy?" She was like, he had this thick, heavy red flannel coat that he was wearing. And he had this he had this gray hair that he was wearing. And he had this hat that he had on. And then Mark said, she said, the one thing that really kind of stuck out to him. And she goes, "He smelled like pipe tobacco." She goes, "It was so strong." She said he had this simple gold ring. It was like a wedding ring on his left hand too. And he said it shocked him because that was literally the description of his grandpa who had passed away that same year. And his grandma had passed away years before, and his grandpa refused to remove the simple gold wedding ring. In his eyes, they were still married for life. And his grandpa had a big, heavy flannel coat. He just thought, it's crazy. I've been thinking of my grandpa. What a weird coincidence. So he's going around the store, like looking for this old man. He could never find him. he went back to the cashier one more time when they were like closing. And it's like, are you absolutely for sure that that's the description? And she goes, yeah, like that's whatever I told you. I've seen so many people now. Like at this point, I'm not going to remember what he looked like. She's like, but whatever I told you is what it was. So he goes back out to his car and he's driving to his mom's house and he walks inside and he's still got that receipt because he's like, man, what a weird thing to have happen. And he told his mom, he goes, hey, he said, do you still have any of Grandpa's stuff? She goes, yeah, like I've got a whole box of your grandpa's stuff and your grandma's stuff. And he's like, I got this weird coincidence, this weird thing that happened tonight. He's like, do you remember that red coat that Grandpa used to have? She goes, oh, the flannel one? He goes, yeah. She goes, yeah, it's in the closet. I keep it in there. And he said that he's like, hey, can I go look at that coat? And she said, yep, you can. She thought it was weird. He goes to the closet. He says he puts his hand on every piece of clothing, and that coat felt as though it was colder than everything else in the room. And the closet felt like pipe smoke, almost like it had just smoked. And he told his mom about the story. And she's like, oh, sweetheart, it's just a coincidence. Like it's not, it's not something that's, him. It was just coincidence. And you probably just imagined that it was colder than the rest. So she didn't necessarily buy into it so much, but he was like, I know what I felt. And it was like a perfect description of my grandpa. He said, the only thing that really made him mad about the interaction was he felt like his grandpa had stepped in a moment of need. But he said it felt almost like a test too, because he said, if my grandpa was there or whomever this man was, he could have gave the gift card when the woman was struggling. He said it wasn't until I stepped in to try to help the woman that he stepped in. It was almost like he was watching and making sure that I did the right thing.
Right.
Versus doing it himself. So he started a tradition after that. And the tradition was through the year, he would save up, little sums of money. And every Christmas Eve, up to the point that I knew him, he would go to stores on the last day and he would find families that maybe didn't have a lot. And he would give them little pieces of money to help them have a little bit more around Christmas. So the moral of the story is it's got that mysterious element, which is what we typically talk about. But for those of you that have just had Christmas, much like in the story of the Christmas Carol, we have to remember what Christmas is about. And we have to understand that no matter how bad you think you've got it or how rough things are, there's always someone that is having a moment that's even rougher.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's true.
Much like Mark, who he needed that reminder that, for him, he didn't have a lot of money. He was having car issues. He just lost his grandpa. In that moment, if you think about that mom, it was a Christmas miracle that this man came in and helped get this car that to anyone else probably didn't mean anything, but to that, her son meant the entire world. That was her Christmas miracle. But for Mark, knowing that your grandpa, that I'm sure he missed very much, came back to help him in that moment was also his Christmas miracle.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. As humans, we got to remember, not everyone's going to be exactly like us, but we got to love them just the same.
And always step in.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. If you have the availability and maybe you've been a little bit more fortunate, or if you see someone struggling, step in and just help them out. Even a little bit. What might be nothing to you? Like a lot of times I hear people go, man, I would give them something, but I don't have enough to give them. I'm sitting there thinking the little bit amount that you think you're giving them to them is probably a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That is true.
But he had told me that story in like, it had to be like 2010, 2009, 2010. Because I was sitting there and I was talking to him and I was, I can't even remember what it was, but we were talking about Christmas and how it was coming up. And, he was always so jovial and so excited about Christmas. And I'm like, man, I've never met someone that loves it as much as me. He goes, I used to not. And I'm like, you used to not? And then he told me that story. And like, I know I was probably sitting there with like little tears welling up in my eyes.
Well, I want to tell you, this is an amazing story, and I hope no one watches it on YouTube. Just listen to the audio version, because my eyes were so wet and I was getting so choked up. I took like 6 swigs of my water. Normally through a whole podcast, I try to limit it to 1 or 2.
Yep.
I was like, just taking slugs of water so I could talk when it was done. I'm glad the ending stretched out a little bit so I could compose myself.
Yeah.
But man, I'm way too tender for that kind of story.
Yeah, it's a good heartwarming story. Like, I understand there's that very dark part, but it reminds us too, we get so hustled and bustled in the steam of Christmas, and that's generally like where our focus is. It's not on the actual reason of the importance of Christmas, The excitement is watching your kids opening something, whatever that is.
Right.
The anticipation, being with family, those are things you can't put a price on that. You can't.
Right. That's my favorite part. It's like being with family, spending time where nothing else in the world matters. You may as well be in that old cottage with your family with a crackling fire. You're not thinking about what's happening over here or what you've got to do. It's just, in my opinion, the only time of the year you get pure relaxing family time.
I agree. I don't know. I hope all of you had an amazing Christmas. I'm super excited for the new year that's coming. In fact, the episode after this, if I'm right, isn't the next episode that we do, isn't that going to be right after the first?
Yeah, we'll come out the second.
Yeah, so we're literally running 1 day after.
Yeah.
What a crazy, crazy time. At the end of this, I might put we use a service called Riverside. And Riverside, I thought it was kind of funny. It put the most used word that we used on our entire podcast.
Oh, really?
And it had a very funny thing at the very beginning. It's not visually or audibly pleasing.
Right.
But I think it's so awesome. I might put it at the end. So for those of you that's on YouTube, you'll want to stick around for that. Sorry, audio people. It's not going to make any sense because all you're going to hear us do is say one word. so it's not going to be nearly as entertaining. But I saw it when I came into Riverside today and I'm like, man, even though this isn't processed, I think it's really cool. I might add it at the end just as a little teaser. But speaking of the end, Nick, you want to open up a thing today?
Yep. Back to Five Nights at Freddy's for me, I guess.
Oh boy, Five Nights at Freddy, folks.
I watched someone play it, a friend of mine play it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I kind of get it. It's somewhere between what kids should be consuming and what adults should be consuming. And it's somewhere in between that. It's too much for kids, in my opinion, but too little for adults.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that gray area.
I think it's your turn first this time.
Oh, is it? Oh, shoot. Mine takes a second longer to open than yours does. Hold on. I'm sorry.
I'm going to get ready anyway, but
this one.
I don't know why I feel these. I don't know what any of them are.
Because you keep hope alive, Nick. I think I'm just down to series 2 on these ones. So these ones are not the more exciting ones, in my opinion. I think I'm out of all the number ones. But what I'm going to call my saliva card. Are you ready for the new episodes of this to come out, Nick?
Yeah, I won't be watching them on Christmas, but I'm excited.
I probably will be. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. Let me, I need to go over to my screen so I can see myself. It's kind of dark.
Yeah.
There you go.
I definitely can't, so I don't know if they can.
I can't tell what that is. I don't think these cards are as good for that. This cool sticker. Oh,
I like that.
Hellfire. There we go.
That's nice.
Took a second to focus in. That's a cool card. I like that one. On the back of that one, oh, this might be new.
Oh, what we got?
We got a video store front.
Oh.
I don't think we've seen that.
You know who I know that's going to be?
Who?
I think it's going to be Robin.
You think so?
Yep. You ain't got a Robin, do you?
No. I didn't even know Robin wasn't. Or wait a second. That's who that is, right?
Oh, maybe.
The Scoops Ahoy
I don't know.
lady?
Yeah, before that, didn't Steve and Robin work at the video store?
I think you're right. I think they did. Is she?
Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know.
That is series 1. Maybe it's series 2, Robin.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder if I'm remembering that wrong, because like 16 years happens between each season. So
it really does. If I piece this bad boy together, I always open up the small one first.
Okay.
It is.
What we got?
The heck is this thing?
Should be a VHS.
I don't know what this is. It's
a skull.
It almost looks like.
Why has it got a skull? I don't know what that is.
What the heck is this supposed to be?
I
don't know. The first clue doesn't tell me nothing, folks. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Number 2 feels like a hat. And the hat is thing or trap. What? I don't know. I can't read it. It's a hat.
Yeah, I don't know.
That means this is, drum roll, please.
Wait. We'll see. I was going to say, do we have a Dustin yet?
You know what? We do not have a Dustin. We got a Dustin from series 1, but not series 2.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see.
It is. It's Dustin.
It is Dustin.
You are so good at this. You figured that out.
I'm just going through my useless lore bank.
Oh, you know what? Is this like a D&D thing? Is this why I don't know what this is? Like a dice thing?
It's got to be. You know what? I bet it's his dice tower. Sort of drop the dice in and it comes out rolling.
I bet that is.
I don't know if those existed back then, though.
I don't know, but that's a cool one. I like that one. Good job, Dustin.
So, yeah, a new one finally.
I know. I was really scared we wasn't going to get any new ones. That's a pretty good one. I like that.
That's cool. I like it. I like Dustin. Everyone likes Dustin, I think.
This year, especially for those of you that's not watched it, you're going to want to.
Yeah. All right. It's time.
Now I got to go to your display. I can't never see myself.
Oh, you missed the flick.
Oh yeah, I did. You got to do it again, Nick.
Okay, hold on.
For us Americans. Woo! It's a good one.
America. Okay, well, without any further ado, because I don't know what these are, it appears to be a rabbit. If someone knows what this is, feel free to let us know.
I feel like I should know who that is, because my son is totally into Five Nights at Freddy's. Let me see. Let me look it up.
Well, it doesn't say its name. It's a super, super common one.
Stupid. Crazy rabbit. Rabbit.
That is a rabbit, right?
That's what I would call it.
It's got long ears.
Looks like it. Freddy at Freddy's Five Nights at Freddy is Bonnie the Rabbit, is blue and purple animatronic guitarist who stalks the player at night, known for being one of the main antagonists along Freddy and Chica. Chica's the bird. I know that much.
I think I got the bird before.
I thought you got Freddy.
You know what? I just don't remember. I'll have to go look later.
Nick's like, I don't remember, folks. Well, hopefully y'all enjoyed this episode. Again, I hope you had an absolutely amazing Christmas. And I hope that you have an amazing new year coming up. Again, for those of you that's watching on video on the YouTube machine, you're definitely going to want to wait until the end so you can see this kind of fun little video. I like it. But I want to thank all of you. Wherever you're listening to your podcast, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Also, please be sure to tell your friends. We're starting to get a little bit of steam on the old YouTube machine finally with some shorts we're putting out there. And we appreciate the love and the comments and all that good stuff. But until we see you in the next episode, which is going to be right after New Year's 2026, baby. Goodbye.
Don't watch the YouTube. AI.